Ladies and gentlemen, let me start this story off by saying that Louisiana is one of my favorite places to visit. I plan on going again for my birthday. But let me say this. Louisiana is going to have to take the L on this story. Yes. I don't understand what would go through your mind to make you think something like this, do something like this, film something like this. I just don't think that some people's heads are right. And I just don't think that some people deserve to have the breath that moves in and out of their body. I think that they're just not right in the head. But let me forewarn you guys, this story is going to have some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. So I'm going to have to give some graphic details. That is your disclaimer. That is your forewarning. In my opinion, might bother you as well. But that's your disclaimer if you need to exit the video. But a Louisiana middle school teacher will face a sentence of 41 years in prison. And I think that sentence is correct. After pleading guilty to a slew of sex crime charges, including giving her students cupcakes. And not just any type of cupcakes. Let me go back to this picture. She gave her students cupcakes that were laced with her husband's semen fluid. How can you be that level of disgusting and dumb? Stupid is as stupid thugs. Stupid is as stupid does. Ain't that right, Lieutenant Dan? Huh? This is a perfect scenario where we have this term at the AFC where we say hashtag TTO and hashtag TTT. If you guys want to post that in the chat and tell the people what it means, I'm not going to repeat it because I think most of the people that watch our channel know what that means. Cynthia Perkins is 39 years old. This evil looking broad right here on my screen. She accepted a plea deal on Monday, hours before a jury selection was slated to begin for her trial, which resulted in the dismissal of 68 charges and agreement to testify against her ex-husband, disgraced Sheriff's Lieutenant Dennis Perkins. Disgraced Sheriff's Lieutenant Dennis Perkins. And let me tell y'all this. People might look at this and want to say, well, you know, police are bad. And here's another situation with the police. Let me clear all that up by just saying this. Stupidity, ignorance, and nastiness comes in all shape, form, or fashions and all careers. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. If you're just a nasty SOB, then that's just what you are and who you are. I'm not going to put this off on the police because I'm going to tell you, I've met some really, really good police officers in Louisiana. I've met really nice police officers all across the world. Police are people just like anybody else is, and they are with this story. I'm not putting this off on the police at all. I think that, here's what I think about this man. I think that any case that he was ever involved in, touched on, investigated, I think that every one of those cases need to come up for review. Anybody who got prison time behind this man, anybody who got a ticket, anybody who got a scolding, I think they need to go back and investigate everything that this man has ever done in his entire police career, and probably before that, needs to be reinvestigated and looked at. The former Westside Junior High School teacher pleaded guilty to second-degree rape, producing child pornography, and conspiracy mingling of harmful substances. Cynthia and Dennis, both are 46 years old, were arrested in 2019 on more than 150 sex crime charges, including sexually abusing a child together. Prosecutors told the Livingston Parish News, and I'm getting this from dailymail.com, so thank you, Daily Mail, for the article. They received the blessing from the juvenile victim's family to accept the plea deal, knowing that 40 years is a pretty long time in prison. And I'm telling you guys, I think that the prison term is suitable. They added that the three charges Perkins pled guilty to were representative of what she had done. And I think they got that right. Cynthia and Dennis were arrested in October 2019 when authorities found a photo of the pair naked with a minor after receiving a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Somebody saw something and said something. Thank God for that. Dennis, who was fired from the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office following his arrest, was indicted on 78, I repeat, 78 felony counts. Dennis had worked with the Sheriff's Office since 2002, and I think they need to go all the way back to 2002 and look at every case and every complaint he's ever had filed on him. Look at everything. And he was the head of the SWAT team when he was arrested. Lord have mercy. Wow. Boy, I know that reflects bad on all police, but like I said, I don't think it should, but it does, unfortunately. Cynthia, who resigned from her junior high school teaching job the day after she was arrested, was hit with 72 felony counts in the indictment. Now, let me tell you guys this. The reason why she, quote unquote, resigned was so that they didn't have to fire her. That way they don't have to pay her for unemployment or anything like that. That's why they always want these people who are accused of this stuff to resign. I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but I've known that for at least a small amount of time. But let's keep going. She taught English language arts at Westside Junior High School since 2016. Prior to that, she worked at North Live Oak Elementary and Live Oak Middle School for 4 years. Cynthia filed for divorce shortly after her arrest, alleging that Dennis had manipulated her into committing the crimes. I don't believe that one bit. I think that they both are completely complicit. He manipulated me. Like, I don't even like the fact that you even get to utter those words and they end up on a news article. I just don't like that. Cynthia filed for divorce shortly after her arrest. Go figure, right? Alleging that Dennis had manipulated her into committing the crimes. By accepting the plea deal on Monday, she waived any right to an appeal and an attempt to avoid conviction. She waived any right to appeal and she waived any right to an appeal and an attempt to avoid conviction. Excuse me for reading that incorrectly. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry also said she spared the victims from reliving her horrific crimes during this particular trial, so they didn't have to go to trial. She pled out. Her attorney, James Spokes, called the plea deal the best possible outcome. We weighed all the options and available information, and considering the circumstances, we really feel as though this was the best decision. Cynthia decided this was in her best interest. She feels a lot of remorse over what's happened, and I don't think she did. I think that people always feel bad after they've been caught, after they do some stupid shit. This is not the kind of case where people are going home happy, but this was the best possible outcome. Let me skip some of this other information. The former couple had also been hit with 4 lawsuits accusing them of feeding baked goods containing Dennis's semen to Cynthia's class at Westside Junior High School on 2 separate occasions in 2018 and 2019. They didn't feel bad. They thought that shit was funny. 2 different occasions. One of the complaints alleged that the father of the student who ate the contaminated cupcakes has fallen into a debilitating depression over the incident and has not been able to find gainful employment. Maybe I should have skipped that part of the information. One of the father of the student who ate the contaminated cupcakes had fallen into, let me read it again. One of the complaints alleged that the father of a student who ate the contaminated cupcakes had fallen into a debilitating depression over the incident and has not been able to find gainful employment. Y'all tell me if I have this wrong. Does it sound like this person might have been going through something emotionally? Yes, I believe that's possible. But I don't care whether it was a mother or a father. That kind of sounds like that's like a money grab. Like they're asking for a money grab behind this situation. Again, hashtag babies for benefits. Trying to get a leg up on the back of your children. In my opinion, I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just throwing it out there because that's just what I was thinking. Another lawsuit claimed that a student and a parent had been afflicted by mental health and behavioral problems and have not been able to sleep since the cupcake incident. This just might not be the story for me because I've been said some things that are probably going to piss some people off. In a suit filed last May, a student's parent alleged that Cynthia showed the girl inappropriate images and that she also photographed and videotaped the minor. All four lawsuits, which were filed separately, also accuse the Livingston Parish School Board of negligence. It remains unclear at this time if the lawsuits will be taken any further. Let me give you guys the fair usage. I don't know if the parents were that traumatized, but maybe they're looking for a settlement. Maybe they're looking for money. I don't know, but it's just my opinion. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Like I say, I might not be looking at this the correct way. So like I say, if I offend anybody, I apologize about that on this tip, because we definitely want to make sure and be sensitive to the children. That should be our number one focus. But again, if you guys are watching this story, do us a favor and click the thumbs up and share this story and let us know what you guys think. But I don't know. Let's get it.
5:30, a Livingston Parish judge sentences former teacher Cynthia Perkins to 41 years in jail after she pled guilty this week to several sex crime charges.
Authorities say that Perkins committed those crimes with her former sheriff's deputy ex-husband. Fox 44's Ariel Solk has reaction outside the courtroom.
It was emotional inside the courtroom today. The sentencing hearing gave Cynthia Perkins an opportunity to not only apologize to her victims, but to her family. And those who were impacted by Perkins the most were able to share their piece.
I think what you heard today was a lot of pain in there from a lot of people.
Cynthia Perkins showed little emotion as she apologized to the victims, her family, and her former students and coworkers before she was sentenced to 41 years in prison. Perkins pled guilty to multiple sex crimes, including rape.
It really goes to show you the damage that people can do with these evil acts.
Perkins' family spoke. Her father and mother told the judge their daughter was a victim of abuse by her husband, Dennis Perkins.
This started when she met Denny Perkins, and he corrupted her and forced her and coerced her into doing some terrible things that she has a lot of guilt over and she has a lot of remorse for.
A letter from the victim read aloud addressing Perkins said, "I hope you rot in prison, and I just feel safer when you're not around." In her plea deal, Perkins agreed to testifying against her estranged husband, Dennis Perkins, in May.
We do think justice has been done so far, and we have one more trial to go.
Perkins will be 75 years old when she gets out, and she will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of her life. In Livingston, Ariel Solk, Fox 44 News.
And that's if she does that full amount of time. for whatever reason. And somehow I just don't feel like they're going to force her to do that entire amount of time. But let's keep going.
The big story that we're following this morning, the former Livingston Parish lieutenant facing dozens of child sex crime charges will face a judge in just under half an hour.
Today's court proceeding is known as a Gwynn's Law hearing. It's meant to determine whether Dennis Perkins should be held without bond due to him being a potential threat should he be released. Fox 44's Courtney Williams joins us now live from the Livingston Parish Courthouse with more details. Courtney?
Hey, good morning to you guys. Well, Dennis Perkins will face the judge this morning after he's being accused of more than 60 counts of child pornography. Now, Dennis, along with his wife Cynthia, were arrested on October 23rd, and she's also facing similar charges. Dennis Perkins is also being charged with 2 counts of first-degree rape, 2 counts of voyeurism, and 2 counts of obscenity.
I know they had videos, I know they had pictures, and I'm going to assume that the children probably just told on them. And they ended up getting caught behind the pictures and videos. I don't know 100%. Like I say, if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. But I know people are asking that in the chat as far as the question, as far as how they got caught. So yeah.
Perkins had been with the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office since 2002 and as a lieutenant led its SWAT team. Now, back in 2014, Perkins was investigated for a reported inappropriate interaction with a juvenile girl, and state police say they revisited the case last week at the request of the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office and confirmed no crime was committed. Now, Perkins is being held on a more than $1.5 million bond, and he will face a judge this morning at 9 a.m. So that will be getting underway shortly. But of course, as we get more information on this case, we will definitely keep you updated on air, online, and on our free Be Our Proud app. But for now, reporting live here at the Livingston Parish Courthouse, Courtney Williams, Fox 44 News.
Well, only on Local 33 News, a friend and former co-worker of a Livingston Parish deputy accused of child sex crimes is now painting a new picture of his ex-partner.
NBC Local 33's Abby Rocha tonight with his insight into the deputy's mind and history.
Every day when he's strapped on that badge and that gun, he's thinking in his mind, I'm smarter than I'm smarter than everybody. I've got them all fooled. And he did.
Woody Overton, a former Livingston Parish detective, polygraphist, certified expert on federal law enforcement, and longtime friend and co-worker of disgraced Deputy Dennis Perkins.
And I've worked hundreds of child rape cases. And, you know, I know the people. I know the psychology behind it. I know everything. Not one thing would ever lead me to believe that he had anything to do with kids.
Overton says there is no one more shocking than Dennis Perkins to have committed these crimes.
Think about how much training Denny got over the years on how the latest techniques that law enforcement is using to catch the offenders. He knows it all.
Overton says he worked alongside Perkins for years and describes Perkins as highly intelligent.
He's a master. Probably the most evil genius mind that I've dealt with.
Overton says in hindsight, Perkins' calculated intelligence matches the mindset of what he calls a preferential predator.
They'll push a little bit, try a little bit, and see if they get any kind of resistance or whatever, that they're going to stop because they're smart. Prisons are full of dumb criminals. It's hard to catch a smart one.
Overton says he is still in disbelief he didn't see it.
Things that gets me the worst is with what I know in my career and the cases that I've done. I should have seen, I feel like I should have seen something, but it wasn't there because he's smart. Every one of them, they're highly intelligent. You're not dealing with a dummy.
Overton hopes Perkins will make it easier on the children affected in this case.
I hope that he gets to hear it, and besides me saying he's dead to me, I hope that he does. I hope he can find some ounce of honor inside himself to take himself out of the situation where these kids don't have to go to court.
Abby Rocha, NBC Local 33.
Man, look, I'll tell you guys this. I'm sure that's probably a difficult thing because that man had worked with him for so long, and you think you know somebody, and then something like this comes up, And the fact that, just like he said, that officer or whatever he was trained for so long to catch people who do stuff like this, that you know all the ins and outs. And I think that probably should be treated as worse than a normal crime, because you actually knew things that a normal person wouldn't know in order to circumvent the system. And the fact that it was you and your wife was a teacher, I think that is by far, those are two people, a police officer and a teacher. Those children didn't stand a chance against these two type of people, because those are generally the two types of people that you would trust outside of your family. You would think you could trust a cop, you could trust the teacher. They violated everybody's trust and probably have been doing it for a very long time. I think that there's something wrong with the minds of those people. They didn't just wake up one day and decide to do something like this. Keep in mind, they at least did it twice. At least. But I hope they get every ounce, no pun intended, every second of time in prison that they deserve. 40, 50 years sounds about right. And I hope that they do 100% of that time. No getting let off. No pun intended. But here's what I do hope. I will say this, and I think I can say this without getting flagged. I'm pretty sure their prison food is they're probably going to have to worry about the types of things that they're actually going to be served in prison, and rightfully so. Look what y'all did to our kids, and I think they got whatever they got coming. No pun intended. Thank you guys so much for listening to the story with an open mind as well as an open heart. But thank you guys so much. Pray for them kids. I don't know about the parents and setting up for them lawsuits, but, you know, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. All right. But share the story. Hit that thumbs up. All right. Peace.